Okay. Hello out there.
Hello, world.
I see we have Django so far. Hopefully
Yay.
people will file in. We've been off for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That's okay. We got a lot to talk about. I'm very excited. I'm going to have, hopefully, Mackenzie playing with me. And then so far, we have Lynn, and then Kathleen and Eric are floating around.
Yeah. Just hanging out.
Let's see what we got here. Invite. Can I invite Mackenzie, or do I have to send her the code?
We will find out, won't we?
We will find out. You're not? Yeah, I'm gonna send you the code. You're not popping up for some reason. Copy. To our Discord. So we have, I think we only did a stream for the first episode, so we have like 3 episodes.
We have 3 episodes to discuss.
To get caught up on here, which is exciting. I put the code in the stream setup, Mackenzie.
Okay. I'm attempting. Stardew was taking a while to load.
That might be why I couldn't find you. And yes, Django, this is the place to come for the Game Show.
Yes.
Let's see. I got a message that said my gold axe is ready today. I forgot that I was making an axe. That's pretty exciting. Oh, so how are you? I mean, I feel like I do actually talk to you guys, but like for the sake of viewers, how are you all doing?
We're okay.
I mean, I'm not Zemo in the club, but I'm here.
Right. I mean, we could all only hope to be as good as Zemo in the club.
Yeah.
It is aspirational, isn't it? He takes time to really enjoy the little things.
He
like,
does.
In every episode, he's like eating candy, drinking a scotch, doing a little dance, taking a bath or whatever, sauntering around in a bath. It's aspirational.
He does what Zemo does.
Oh, how dare Professor Django bring up that thing that I am actually secretly really proud of, where I wore the Betty White mask. Oh, come on, man.
Oh, the Betty White mask.
That is still in the GVTV office.
Is it really? That's wild.
Last time I checked. I haven't been on campus in a year.
Well,
but last time I checked.
That's amazing. And I bet most people don't even know why it's there.
I like to think in like 5,000 years, some archaeologists are going to find it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be unusually well preserved, and they're not going to know why, and they're going to base the theory of a religion around it or something.
Right.
Like, we think this was really, really important.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Betty White religion.
There should be.
She's going to live forever.
Yeah.
So
obviously. Okay, so it's winter. What were we even working on? I think we're just like working towards that grandfather valuation.
Yeah, I have no idea what we're working toward.
That's fine. Well, it sounds like you and I can go to the mines then.
I can do that.
Oh, we have the keg shed. We should check on the keg shed. And like animals and stuff.
I have notes. Okay.
I guess I can do some animal stuff since Lindsay's not here. Lindsay is not here today. She might pop in at some point, but she's off doing important things today. I'm really out of it at this moment. So let's dive in. What are some thoughts? I know we have 3 episodes on, so like what is like a general feeling on FaWS right now?
I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good right now.
Pretty easy response there, but
yeah.
But still.
It's yes. It is what I wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
More so than it was earlier on. Like,
yeah,
we talked about how I wanted it to be buddy cop show.
Yeah.
It is more buddy cop show now.
And I love that it's buddy cop show plus Zemo.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's buddy cop show plus Zemo, but also like they have a respect for each other even if it's grudging,
Yeah.
and they're offended when someone else is not being respectful.
Right.
They're like, excuse me, what are you doing?
Like, the whole, I can make fun of you, but he can't.
Right.
Django's referencing, my mother is now caught up on the show, and
Yay!
she watched the first 2 episodes and was not enjoying it because everybody was fighting too much.
Well, okay.
And I was like, well, you know, and she's doing better now, and the other episodes had, like, more action scenes and stuff, but she was just like, I don't know about this, and I'm like, well, I mean, these shows about these characters, and it kind of brought up this. I don't know if this is gonna be too much of a tangent, considering we haven't discussed these shows at all, to get into something maybe a little bit deeper. But I think a lot in watching these shows, and I thought about it too with WandaVision, like which audience they're making shows for, right? So like,
yeah.
WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier for us is great because like these are characters we've loved for a long time that haven't gotten as much like up close and personal time because they're not one of like the first tier Avengers, even though maybe, you know, that shouldn't necessarily matter or what have you. By the way, I'm gonna go get my gold axe, Mackenzie.
Okay. I'm gonna figure out what you guys did the last however many sessions.
Perfect.
Hit the buttons.
But like there's such an interesting line where like there was the level we had when we were discussing different shows of like, okay, so how much should they really draw on the comics at risk of like confusing people who don't read the comics, and like which audience are they, you know, how do they balance that? But then there's also the, even if you just watch the movies and you don't read the comics, or if you do read the comics, you know, you have a different relationship with these characters where you want to see this stuff like deeper. But what about the people who literally just want 50 minutes of escapism? Like, is a show like this still escapism for them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like we all like the show and we were discussing it because it's hitting these deeper, more nuanced things. But what if what about the people who don't want catharsis? Like,
well, they don't have to look at it that way, I guess.
Yeah.
That's how I feel too.
Because
I guess I feel like Disney. Yeah.
It's not beating you over the head. It's a subtle reminder. Oh yeah, this is kind of how life is. Like,
yeah.
It's less, we're gonna talk about this issue right now.
Right.
And I think that's important.
I kind of think there's also the idea of, and this is what I kind of tried to tell my mom, is it's like, it's okay if you just don't want to watch it. Like, you don't have to watch it for me.
That's what I was going to say.
But then you get into the, okay, but if this show is introduced, like with WandaVision, we got new characters. So if you don't watch WandaVision, like, I'm still waiting for, like, the thing with Doctor Strange 2 that I'm really curious about is not only the movie, but, like, how much are you going to have had to have watched WandaVision to get Doctor Strange 2? And I think that's going to make the difference for me. Is if it really is something you don't have to watch if you don't like it, then that's great. You know what I mean? But if it becomes something where you have to see everything, I don't know. And, like, it probably sounds weird to come in on that mood, because I honestly have been loving the show. Like, when she asked me if the show got any better as we went, I'm like, I don't know how to answer that question, because I've been loving it. Like, you have to tell me what better would mean for you. You know. But she just didn't want the arguing and the anger, and she just wanted buddy cop without the angst and it wasn't even like the systemic racism comments that tripped her or anything. She was just literally like, she just didn't like that they were arguing. She wanted to see friends. It didn't feel
like escapism for her. That's interesting.
Right.
I don't know. I guess my assumption was that with Disney Plus, there would be an avenue to to do something, to do things that weren't necessarily mainstream, whatever that might be,
Right.
or to just do whatever the powers that be felt like doing, rather than taking in any other considerations. I know that they have this ambitious idea that the shows and the movies will tie into each other.
Mm-hmm.
I have to assume that because they are, these things are ultimately overseen by a company that wants to sell tickets,
Right.
that they're going to figure out ways to make the movies appeal to people who, for whatever reason, have not watched the shows.
Right.
I have to feel that there's going to be some way they'll just do some exposition or something in the movies in case you didn't actually watch all of it.
Right.
But I don't know. I guess I like the idea, given how wacky some of these comics can be, and that's why so many people love them. Marvel made it through the Infinity Saga. They broke every record that could be broken. Maybe they just are doing some weird stuff on their own channel now that they have one.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of admire that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know when I was watching WandaVision with my sister, and it got to the reveal of Agatha Harkness, somebody she has never heard of, because she didn't pay attention to the discourse. She does not care. She was not theorizing about Agatha Harkness,
right,
for months on end. And when the camera kind of zoomed in, and this is the only part of the show she didn't like, with the camera kind of zoomed in, and Agnes was like, the name's Agatha Harkness. Adrian's like, oh, come on. I don't know who that is. That was the only thing that made her a little bit like...
Yeah.
She didn't love it. And I told her, well, I mean, the opinion of Marvel seems to be that these shows can be kind of weird, and they just expect you to Google it, and they're gonna do what they feel like doing. That's kind of my impression.
Right.
And I actually like that, though. Maybe my opinion is biased because I want them to do that, but I like it if that is the direction they're going.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I've always had the opinion when it comes to fan service is it's not a problem as long as you're not punishing somebody for not knowing. So, like, to go off of what your sister had to say, I don't mind them bringing in stuff from the comics at all, because everything is from the comics. It'd be a little bit weird to be like, well, no, you can only bring in 10% of the comics. But it's the slow zoom stuff. Like, they did the same thing when they said Scarlet Witch for the first time. Right? Like, bring in Agatha Harkness, but don't make me feel like I'm missing something because I don't know that name.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the balance to me.
And I hadn't considered that because I obviously have been paying attention to the Agatha Harkness theory, so it didn't even register with me until she said something.
It's been great, because, like, I've been off of Twitter for a long time, and I haven't read one person's review, I haven't read one person's theory. I love it. I love not knowing and not giving a crap what anyone else but, like, you guys think of this show. Right? It's so freeing and wonderful.
That was one of my favorite things about WandaVision. I was like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
Honestly, though, what I liked about WandaVision was that you could theorize as much as you wanted. You weren't going to be correct, probably, unless you guessed one thing. Like, you weren't going to be correct. It kept us all guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just, I always think about it from a storytelling perspective. I've just always been interested in, like, the responsibilities of a storyteller, because they obviously have a very difficult thing to want to balance, because if I knew what these things were, I would be really excited about them, but if I don't know what these things are, I'm not, and like that's going to be my own personal lens from which I view it.
And ultimately, it's to have fun with it in whatever way you enjoy. There are elements of the theorizing that I really enjoy, because I don't know if you guys know this about me. I'm a big dork. Like, I'm an absolute nerd. There are these things that I enjoy these things, but I don't think you necessarily... I'm optimistic that you don't necessarily have to have fun.
I like this.
That's kind of... I optimistically feel that way.
Hey, Andrew, welcome. Django says...
Hello.
In the 80s, when the Dune movie came out, they gave people glossaries on their way into the theater so they wouldn't be lost.
I didn't know that.
That's a level of, like, okay, guys, come on.
That's overdone.
That's okay, you needed to adapt this differently. If I need paperwork to go into a movie, no.
Then you done messed up.
And then I don't need to see your movie.
Yeah.
Then you're not really doing a visual medium so much as you're doing a book illustration that move really fast.
Yep.
Which
it didn't really help Andrew says. Okay. But unless you guys have more to say on that, I'm happy to actually go into the show. That was just something I was thinking about, because the most recent viewing of the show for me was my viewing with my mother, more so than my own viewing.
Yeah. The only thing I would say to end my thoughts on that is that I think it's really interesting. We're having these conversations with Falcon and Winter Soldier, but that was always the intention, was for it to come out first. So I do think a little bit it's more like a good Marvel movie, than it is like something extremely out of left field. Like, I think it's interesting your mom felt that way, because it seems to me like they wrote it to have mass appeal. Well, to an extent.
I think, too, the difference is my mom cares about Sam and Bucky to the extent that they are Captain America's best friends. Like, I don't think she really and I don't mean that in, like, she doesn't care about, but I mean, like, she's your casual moviegoer who doesn't rewatch these movies all of the time. You know, for her, she's like, yeah, Captain America, I know him, he's one of my favorites, and then those are his two best friends. What are their names again? So, like, for her to get into a show that's, like, about their emotional journey, she's just not gonna care in the same way we do.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Are they winning her over, do you think?
Well, she watched 3 and 4 without me, so I don't really know how she did watching those, but she seemed to be enjoying them more. But, like, I think that's kind of her thing. She's like, she kind of needed to know more of why to care about these characters, because up until now they've just been like the best friends of the characters she cares about.
Well, he's dead.
Well, we don't know he's dead.
Yeah, you're true. That's true. I'm making that assumption.
We just saw him as an old man. The world thinks he's dead or on the moon, but
they do think he's on the moon.
But, like, they don't know. I mean, I'm presuming people thought Captain America died fighting Thanos, and when he went back in time, no one knows he existed. Now, that's an assumption on my part. But I don't think anybody knows that there's a, 90 bajillion-year-old Captain America running around being old. That's always how I took it.
Yeah, he's probably not running. He's just kind of chilling somewhere.
I laugh and shake my head at the concept of Steve Rogers with a giant fake mustache, just like letting all this stuff happen, calling himself John Doe, being like, JFK's assassination is next week, but I've got plans.
We don't.
I'm sorry. I've committed the cardinal sin for which I'll never forgive myself.
You stepped in it, Lynn.
I'll never forgive myself. Please understand, this shame will follow me for decades.
I'm just trying really hard not to dwell on that forever. Is the thing.
Something else you can dwell on forever, Jess.
Yeah.
My mom doesn't like Captain America.
What? That's hilarious. Okay, from your mom though, that's hilarious.
I know, she is Captain
a little
America.
bit funny.
Like, I understand chat doesn't know Mackenzie's mom, but it's hilarious.
Right? So she started phase 1 when it all came out and all that, but then life happened and life happened. So while I was at my parents' house for 2 weeks, in quarantine, we spent a lot of time watching Marvel movies.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, so this one's my favorite, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, it's Captain America. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, yes, it's awesome. Like, yes.
I love it. That's so funny.
So I don't know how my mom, like, it's going to take her another 2 years to get through the rest of the movies.
Right.
But I don't know what she'd do trying to watch this show. Like, I don't know. I don't think she's...
Right. It's not cut out for her.
No.
Especially because the entirety of the show is, well, Steve was perfect, but everybody else sucks. Which, again, goes to one of my core problems of... Anyway.
Yes.
But still, unrelated.
Unrelated.
Oh, I forgot I bought a Christmas tree for our house. I'll put it out.
We have a Christmas tree.
Ta-da!
I did not know this.
I forgot about it. No, but we got Zemo back. And Zemo I have been a big contender that Zemo is one of the best MCU villains ever. Django profoundly disagrees with me, actually. It's funny. But, it's just because it's like him and Thanos who are like the only successful villains.
I think that's absolutely true. I also resent the implication that Daniel Bruhl has ever done anything wrong ever in his life. He's not. He's such a good actor. I'm so glad they found a role for him at all.
Oh, and he's been so good in this series.
He has been so good. What is even?
His character has surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily doing a bunch of things that I wasn't like prepared for, but just like, oh, okay, I thought you'd peace out then, but I guess not.
I mean, it's ironic. Episode 3 was actually not my favorite, but I so much liked the parts of Baron Zemo that was in that episode.
Yeah,
it's hard to explain. I think of the 4 so far, 3 was the weakest one for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I like seeing him so much.
3 was a transitional episode.
Yep, absolutely. That's absolutely true.
Looking at this like a long movie,
right?
Yeah,
we're right. 3 is the beginning of Act 2. You got to figure out what the heck is happening.
Right.
Okay, what's our game plan now?
Yep.
Then you start executing it.
Yep.
Like, an episode 4 to me was very much an Act 2 end.
Right.
Of any kind of play. You're like, yeah, okay. This is when things get good now. Like.
Yeah.
Well, what I've a question for you with bringing up different things. So the one thing I am kind of aware of is there's a theory that Sharon's going to end up being Power Broker.
Yeah.
And I was curious what your guys' thoughts are on that.
That's a great question. I'm split on it totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I go back and forth with whether I even like that idea and how plausible it is.
Right. See, the thing is, like, even when I rewatched it, if you go in the 3rd episode after she saves all their butts on the ship, she gets in the car with that other lady and she's like, we've got a situation. So, like, she's clearly up to more than she says she's up to. My thing is, like, outside of the realm of is it possible or not, like, that's really dark for her. Because the show, unless we get misinformation, the show says the Power Broker is the one who got the guy to make the super serum.
Right.
And so, like, are we saying that Sharon Carter, like, niece of Peggy Carter, who literally helped Cap fight off Hydra when they tried to kill off all of S.H.I.E.L.D., like, restarted the super serum program to create super soldiers? Like, I just think that's a bad story play.
Absolutely. I absolutely think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to know who she's working with, because she's working with somebody.
Right.
But I don't think it's the Power Broker. I don't think she is the Power Broker.
Right.
I honestly think what might be happening is she's fibbing to Sam and Bucky about not being able to go home.
Because it would be, again, that would be such a crap thing if she couldn't.
I mean,
hey, Ray, welcome. I mean, it would.
Sense. But I think it would make sense also if she were not able to go home because she's deep undercover.
Right.
Which would explain better why she's helping them.
Right.
You took the words out of my mouth. She's deep undercover.
Andrew in the chat there says that he thinks she's working with Fury, which would totally track.
Yeah, that would track. I think that's a great idea.
Especially with Fury getting his own D+ show with the love of my life. So
yeah, the one and only, baby.
So, like, I think I'm glad you could be here too, Ray. I know my streaming schedule's been really weird lately. But, like, I don't know. That's my thing, is I have a hard time even looking at the theory from plausible or not, because I don't want, like, I'm fine with her being up to more than she says. But I don't see the niece of Peggy Carter going, I feel like making super soldiers because I'm mad. You know what I mean? Like, to me, even the idea that she couldn't get in touch with Fury to get a pardon, all of that just seems so, like, convenient. You know what I mean?
That's exactly how I feel. I think that would honestly be a better plot arc in a lot of ways. Although, not that it's not interesting that they were exploring the idea of Sharon got kind of left behind with everything that went on. In some ways, it's more interesting if Fury was like, hey, this is going to be great if we use this as a new cover for you. You know, that's almost more interesting to me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Ray. She says, after WandaVision, I'm kind of theoried out. I'm like, well, that's kind of how I've felt. I can't remember if I said this on one of our streams or if it was one of the times we were talking off stream. But, like, as much as this is a twisty, turny kind of spy-like show, so this might sound ridiculous, I want a show where everyone is who they seem to be. And that doesn't mean we can't have plot twists. Like, we haven't talked about John Walker at all, really. We can get to him taking the serum and all of that, and that makes sense. That's not what I'm talking about. But just like, I don't think we need another Agatha. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think so either.
You took the words out of my mouth. It seems to me, especially having just watched episode 4 again before this stream, that Falcon and the Winter Soldier, people are really having philosophical issues to deal with based on who they are.
Yep.
And I love that. It's like, okay, this is who this person is. Now they have choices to make based on what's going on, and they're discussing what they really believe. Mm-hmm. And I kind of love that. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think it's not like, and it turns out Sharon was really a Skrull. It's more like, you know, it's more like, now this is the kind of person that Sam is. This is the kind of person Bucky is. They have to decide what they want. How are they going to deal with X and Y? And that goes for John Walker, too.
Yeah.
By the way, in my opinion, if we want to get into that.
Yeah. Weird. The world is weird.
It is.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Let's start with, there are superheroes. That makes the world weird.
Yep.
Now we've got superheroes who, like, wait, who are they all? And what are their powers again?
Right.
And, oh, wait, okay. But this guy helped us, but now also attacked us.
Right.
So, what? I don't know. And then, everybody disappeared and was dead for 5 years. And now they're not dead, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I would also love a Dora Milaje series, please.
Yeah. I felt pretty dumb because I absolutely 100% forgot until Io showed up on the screen that, like, oh, right. There was that little detail where Zemo actually literally murdered
the king of Wakanda.
And then I never got caught and was like in prison for that. Oh, whoopsie daisy. Like, I did not remember that until she showed up.
It was like, oh, that's right. Well, because there's just so much to keep track of with, like, everybody's personal relationships. It's like, what is going on?
There was so much happening in Civil War, and then the Infinity Saga. It's like I didn't keep track of that.
Of all of the things.
I have to say, rewatching with my mom has been helpful on that front.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Because she's like, wait, who is that? Okay, this person is important. Let me explain.
Yep.
No, we can't skip that movie. We have to watch it. Like,
is she gonna want to watch the Loki series? Do you think?
I have no idea. Thor. Okay, the Thor movies are her favorite. So, which is hilarious because the first Thor is the most boring out of all of the movies.
Django's about to argue. Django is like keyboard warrioring you right now.
So, it's an interesting thing, but she enjoys Thor as a character, so that might be a thing. I don't know.
It's making me laugh because my non Marvel loving sister is very much wanting to watch Loki and she's like wanting to watch it with me and then have me explain things to her. So I have to get a PowerPoint ready. I have to do all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
Have fun.
Ray goes, I am not here for the slander of the first Thor movie. Yeah, I was going to say Django is, the only reason why Django hasn't responded is because he's currently crafting a very strongly worded paragraph about how much he hates Thor the Dark World. And how he thinks it's the worst of the MCU by a lot.
Django, just think about Thor Ragnarok and go to your happy place.
Yeah, Django responds, I'm a big fan of all 2 Thor movies.
Of both Thor movies. That's valid. That's fair and valid.
That's a very normal response to me. I am a fan of all 3 Thor movies. I like all of them.
I like them all, but I mean, when you're looking at the entirety of everything, like, there has to be a best and a worst.
I would largely make that argument about any Phase 1 movie, though, compared to any of its subsequent films.
It's so true. It's so true. Over the holidays, I watched the first Iron Man movie with my parents, and that was like a damn time machine.
Right?
That was crazy. That was like I'd written a letter to myself in the 3rd grade. It was it absolutely curled my hair. I couldn't believe. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just weird.
Yeah, no, I feel that way about, and like, I don't say that to knock Phase 1 in any particular way. You would hope that the weakest installments are the early ones, right? Like, you would like, other than maybe a stray movie that somebody doesn't like as much as another one. Like, I think the MCU has been doing well because overall, as a whole, the movies have gotten better with each phase.
I really think that's Marvel's big strength, is that they just have gotten stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And that's like, and I think that's good. That's admirable, and it doesn't take away my ability to enjoy older movies, but they have gotten stronger.
Yeah, for sure.
And one thing I loved, maybe kind of tangentially related to this, was like the acting we got from Sebastian Stan in the opening of this 4th episode really made me sad and happy.
Yes.
Like that was hard to watch in some ways. I'm so glad he's doing better, guys. I'm so glad Bucky is doing better.
I'm just loving that they're giving these actors room to really grow.
I know. Just dig into your character. I love it.
I saw an article where people were asking him if he was offended by the fact that he was billed second in the title, and he's like, really? This is what you want to ask me?
That's funny.
Yeah. I can't believe that. Of course not.
I've already had a whole damn movie with my character's name in it.
Yeah.
So I don't,
of course.
I'm fine with this being the Falcon show, and I'm hanging out. Like,
well, also
some of it is
go ahead.
I think we're going to say the same thing. Yeah. It's aesthetic, isn't it? You can't say the Winter Soldier and the Falcon. How does that work syllable-wise? Nuh-uh. Get out of here. GTFO with that.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, no, it's...
Also, I will say that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is stupid.
No, it's FaWS. It's Falcon and...
That's
it's Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, it's not...
We don't need articles all up in here. I know we're English, but we don't need that many articles. Like, come on.
No.
Are we English or are we American?
I think the difference between English and American is screw articles. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's
we
it.
started saying screw it to articles when we got the Constitution instead of the Articles of Confederation. We haven't stopped since.
Yeah.
To which I say, hell yeah. No, Auntie, I did not notice that. Andrew in the chat saying, did you see that Florence Kazumba was credited as main cast this episode?
What?
I love that. I love her, and I would very much be like her to get her own series with the Dora, please. I know we've already said that, but it's worth repeating.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Kind of liked her with Bucky. I can't decide if I like them together or not. I think I've just been in quarantine for too long.
No, I think it's kind of like, when you discuss Star Wars, pretty much everyone is in love with Finn, because why wouldn't they be? I mean, like, he's probably got the most possible partners of anyone else. And we can discuss whether or not that meant he should have not had one by the end of the movie, oddly enough, when he had so many possible partners, but whatever. But, like, I think Bucky is that. He has so many options.
He has chemistry with everybody. It's like there's going to be a Bucky and Zemo faction. There's going to be a Bucky and Sam faction. There's going to be a Bucky and the woman from the bar faction. There's going to be a Bucky and the guy whose son he killed faction because he's got chemistry with everybody. I'm sure it's out there if somebody wanted to look for it, which I'm not going to do, ruin my Google search forever.
Django can attest to this. I was once looking up some art from Rogue One, and I accidentally stumbled onto Krennic and Jen fan art.
Oh, that's weird.
That's wrong. I try not to judge people, but, like, that is wrong on many, many levels.
That's, I wish you hadn't said that to an extent, because I have to know that now.
Yes. Bucky is a fan faction. Yes, why does Bucky have to have only one partner? I mean, come on.
Yeah, there you go.
There's enough of him to go around. And Ray says Sebastian Stan can't not have chemistry with everyone. It's true.
Yep. It's a blessing and a curse.
Oh, Jacob goes, what if Bucky goes back in time and marries Peggy before Steve does?
No, don't even bring that up, Django.
Honestly, I would laugh really freaking hard.
I would. I really would.
And then Ray's got something interesting here. This is the last time we're seeing them as these characters. You can quote me on that. I'm assuming she means Falcon and Winter Soldier. So, I think we were talking about before how, like, what shows are going to be multiple season shows and which ones are going to be miniseries. And I think we said that this show has the most potential to be, like, a second season kind of show.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, does Sam choose to take up the mantle of Captain America by the end of the season, by the end of the show?
I think that's the direction they're going in.
Because I kind of wonder if, like, what if and I know, like, in the comics, different people have taken it up in different ways, but, like, what if the compromise is Sam takes up the shield, but not the title?
I like that.
What if Sam's like, I can't be Captain America, nobody can be Captain America but Steve, but I can be a hero for America in my own way.
I can be Falcon.
I can be Falcon. I can carry the shield. The shield can still stand for something, but I'm gonna be me.
Yeah. And note, I said Falcon, not the Falcon.
Yes. Somebody named Elevator's Not Worthy in the chat, which is my new favorite name ever. I don't know if you've seen Daredevil, the TV show, then you really remind me of Daredevil. I have not finished I've seen the first season of Netflix's Daredevil. Yeah. Do they change it to Captain America and Bucky for the next series? They could.
Haha. What's funny is they haven't said it all. The only series that's confirmed for a second season is Loki. They're already full steam ahead on getting that out.
Oh yeah.
Which I think is awesome. You know, I'm leaning in the direction that Sam will take the mantle. I think that after this episode, it could. I don't know, but I think after this episode, they're certainly discussing the idea of a Captain America who like is everybody represented? Does he do good for everybody? Is he thinking about the little guy the way that Steve would have?
Right.
Can we not pick another blonde white man?
Well, how about I remember in the first episode, Sam speaking Arabic to that couple.
Yep.
And then in episode 3, what do we get? The guy starts talking and John's like, oh, I need a translator.
Right.
And he's like rolling his eyes and then pulls out, do you know who I am?
Right.
Yeah.
And then was super, like, he's not.
You can go F yourself. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Which should be the title of John's series. You can go F yourself, coming to Disney Plus. And in every episode, it's just the Dora beating him up. And that's what it is.
Yep.
And that's the show. We would all watch it, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I've lost my train of thought. I'm just thinking about the Dora beating him up now. And how happy it made me. I rewound that scene and watched it multiple times before proceeding with the episode because it made me so happy.
Like, it's fantastic.
I mean, I fell out of my chair. One of the Dora does the iconic kind of stomp and grab with the shield. Yes, please.
Yes.
I want an hour. Where's my hour loop of that, Disney?
I wanted that to like, I wanted her to walk away with it.
Yeah.
I wanted her to take
Why not?
And then he goes,
Why not?
Because he has no idea what the hell to do when he doesn't have it.
Right.
I know, right?
I am Captain America.
Oh, Django, bringing up something in the chat I do want to discuss. Or after the world sees Cap beat a guy to death, the U.S. says no more Cap.
Right.
That could be. I kind of suspect that there's going to be some, what do companies do when they have PR disasters? I think they're going to confiscate the shield and beg Sam to take it. They need good PR. They're going to get someone who's also a veteran, but new Steve, and, you know, is also black. They care about optics. I think they're going to beg him to fix their PR and be the new Cap instead. That's what I think.
Well, we do see. I'm pretty darn sure in one of the trailers we saw Sam with the shield in Louisiana.
Yeah, we did, and I'm wondering when we're going to get to that.
But I don't know that they're going to beg Sam, but I could see them.
No, I don't think they will. I think they'll just try and make it go away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because let's be honest, if people, like, if we look at our governments, they're pretty notorious for messing things up.
Right.
We're just trying to cover things up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking more of how a company would respond than the government. That's absolutely true. They're not like a marketing firm. It's the government. Yeah.
And the government is like, I don't know what you're talking about. We didn't mess up. This was, yep, we're fine. The guy you chose as your spokesmodel murdered a person in public.
Yep. While
after doing something incredibly illegal.
With the shield, he was unarmed and he was yelling, "It wasn't me!" And oh my god,
And like, he took the serum, right? So like, that's evidence. Like, it's not even just that he took an unauthorized drug for the lulz. He literally put evidence inside of his body.
Yeah.
Oh, Ray pointing out something that I had not considered in the chat. He murdered the guy who had looked up to Cap.
Oh, that's true. Oh,
I had forgotten. Oh, I forgot about that.
I wanted to bring up the what I had sent you guys on Polo was because I rewatched Civil War with my mother to get her ready to watch the show, and at the end of Civil War, the very very end when Cap and Bucky and Tony are all fighting, and it's gotten to the point where Steve just has to stop Tony because the fight's not going to go away. He's like
curb stomping him.
Yeah, he beats Tony down with his shield in a very similar way that John Walker does. But the difference is, like, you get to there's literally a shot where Tony freaks out because Cap has hit his helmet off. He's like removed his helmet. He's hitting Tony so hard in the head, and then Tony freaks out because he thinks Cap's going to do the final shot to his head, and instead he goes for the arc reactor, and he destroys the arc reactor. So Tony's suit has no power, so Tony can't go after them. And that's how the fight ends. And there's just a lot of really cool comparisons of John Walker doing the same thing Steve Rogers does, but ending it in a different way. And so I kind of went back and rewatched that last scene. It was really interesting in that context of Steve did not go for the killing blow. He went for the...
You're blowing my mind. You're blowing my mind.
The neutralizer blow, where John Walker went for the killing blow. And that was something I only noticed because I just happened to rewatch that scene after that.
I mean, that's an excellent observation for sure.
I mean, let's just also think about that visual for a moment. Him standing there with the shield covered in gore.
Yep.
In a public place surrounded by people taking video.
Yep.
Like, ooh.
Yep.
That I felt that they did such a good job with the two deaths in this episode with Lamar and then the Flag Smasher getting stomped to death.
Yeah.
You really felt it viscerally. I don't know if it was like an audio thing or what they did, but it was like painful. It was like, oh, it's horrible. You know, it's about as gory as they can get.
Hi,
Really.
Nolan, welcome.
I was gonna ask if anybody had like ever checked out the show The Boys, which I got into with my sister over quarantine. It's super gory. I can't recommend it to everybody, but it has a similar premise of like superheroes. What if they're bad?
Right.
And
yeah,
and
I've
they're
not watched it, but I
restrained
know a
by
lot of people who like it.
and it made me think of that. Seeing
Yeah.
the blood with little bits of brain matter in there on the
Mhm.
shield really was like it was a shocker for sure.
Well, and I think
Yeah.
they kind of keep bringing up the point, like as much as that is, and as because I was kind of thinking about this. I know Lindsay and I were talking about this a lot more. She says hi, by the way. She sent me a text that says,
Hey.
"Have fun. Tell everyone I say hello, and that I miss them." But she's getting her vaccine, so she cannot be here.
Oh, hooray! Oh, congrats!
But I was talking to her about it because the thing with John Walker, and I'm gonna get some flack for this, and I'm aware, but like the reason why people really, 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 really hate his guts is because, in my opinion, he's in Steve Rogers' place. If he was yet another in the long list of dickish heroes who are flawed, and he wasn't trying to be Captain America, why be any less forgiving towards him than any of the other super dicks, like Doctor Strange, like Tony Stark, that we've come to love over time? But it's because
I can't say I agree with that.
It's because he's different than to me than like a Hayward, who's just an outright dick, who's out to like control people. I mean, like, I trust Lamar. I don't have any problem with Lamar, and Lamar sees something in this guy. I think Walker is the hyper-privileged, hyper-talented, always been the strongest, always been the smartest guy in the room, has never been challenged, who is freaking the crap out because he's being challenged for the first time, and he's not handling it well. But Carly Montague is a Montague, whatever her last name is. Morgenthau, thank you. She's a good person, arguably. She's trying to help people, and she took the super serum, and it caused her to blow up a building with people inside, to the point where even her own people are like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
So the point where, you know, John Walker went from, I mean, you gotta say, he's been on battlefields where you're not making decisions of, maybe I can talk this person down. He's been on battlefields where you're gonna get shot if you don't go in first. He is just not used to this kind of level. He's not used to being around superpowered beings where there's this added level. And, like, I'm not saying that he deserves to be Captain America, because I don't think he does, but I don't think anyone really does. I'm just saying that it's really, really easy to hate him because he's being put in a position that he's not ready for, and he's not handling it well.
Yes, and he doesn't recognize that he's not handling it well. At least enough.
Yes.
I think he does, because he's asking Lamar, like, am I really doing this okay? Like, this is crazy, blah, blah, blah. And Lamar's like, dude, you're fine. Like, chill out. Which is what a friend should do.
Right.
But also,
he's
wrong.
He's wrong. He's absolutely wrong. But, like, to me, he's still different than, like, a Hayward from...
Oh, absolutely.
From WandaVision.
Absolutely. And, I mean, I know someone who's able to do so many things. My brother, he's crazy smart.
Yep.
And he never had to put any kind of effort into it. And then he got to college and he was like, what the hell do you mean to study?
Right.
And I'm like, well, that's how it works, bro, for the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's one of those things where he's being challenged for the first time and he doesn't know what to do about it.
Right.
He's not like, I don't like being challenged. He's just like, what do I do?
What do I
like,
do?
how do I do this? Like, what is next? What am I supposed to...
Yeah.
Where's my effort supposed to go?
Right. What am I supposed to do? Because I mean, like, unless a plot line comes out in the next 2 episodes where he faked getting his medals or something, you know.
No, I don't think he did.
And what did they say about him getting his medals in this episode, though?
The worst day of his life.
Yeah.
But specifically doing a bunch of bad shit.
Well,
that they like morally questionable stuff was how he got the medals. He said that
in
himself.
Warland, that's what war is.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just I can't really articulate my thoughts, but there's something about the Hayward character that's like he's such a poor leader that I can't imagine I would be I think I would probably still hate his guts even if he wasn't in the cap suit. I think there's something to what you're saying, but for me, I'm like, there's something about this guy where he genuinely he's not as invested in helping the little guy as Steve was. He's not.
Well, and
he's just not.
I'm not trying to compare him to Steve. I'm saying any of the other imperfect heroes we've got. I mean, look at freaking Rocket Raccoon. Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of not great people that we think are really fun. I mean, the difference is he's not funny. I mean, he's literally like the other heroes we have without being funny.
I don't think so. I wouldn't go that far, although I think the Rocket Raccoon comparison is a good one. I think with Tony and Doctor Strange, their whole character arcs are about becoming better people and helping people. Mm-hmm. And I don't think there's any sign of that with John Walker yet. But I can't really articulate my thoughts. And it's true that we were set up to hate this guy immediately because he's in Steve's shoes.
Right.
Like how Bucky hated him immediately because he was in Steve's shoes.
Right.
So it's tough to say. I'm thinking there's more to it than that, but it kind of remains to be seen. And particularly since the serum is bringing out who he really is. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a moot point soon anyway.
But like... Yeah. And see, that's the thing about the bring out who it really is thing, because then are we going with what Zemo says, and is Carly just a supremacist, and that's all she's ever been, or does she get to be a hero?
I absolutely loved that conversation she had with Sam.
I did.
Right.
Oh my God. That's part of why I was so pissed at John, because I'm like, just trust one other person in your life for 1 second. Because he's literally trained for this.
Yep.
Like, he is a combat veteran who has suffered from PTSD.
Yep.
Dealing with someone who is currently suffering PTSD.
Yep.
Because, oh wait, half the world fucking disappeared.
Yep.
Like, everybody's got some trauma, y'all.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it. Sam is a good person and a good soldier.
Yep.
We know that John is a good soldier.
Yep.
That's why he was picked. But, like, what does that mean? Does that necessarily translate to being the right person to try and help people? Because he clearly thinks he is helping people.
Right.
He just doesn't go about it the same way that we are used to.
Right. He's not trying to take over the world. He's not trying to...
He's not a bad guy or a villain. He's just
not cut out to be Captain America. Like,
yeah. Or a superhero in general.
Right.
Because superheroes need to be at least somewhat humble, which is part of why Tony Stark had a lot of PTSD after New York. Because he wasn't humble. And then he was like, oh shit, I had to take a nuke through space.
Yeah. Well,
like, what?
In a way, just kind of thinking about this, I think Walker is not entirely different from Vulture in Homecoming. It's just Vulture, well, I can't remember the person's name, but Michael Keaton wasn't the smartest, strongest, whateverist, so he never got that same kind of privilege. But he's the guy who's like, I'm just trying to help feed my family, and then gets corrupted by the idea of I'm just trying to do this good thing, but I'm letting doing this good thing feed my negative habits. John Walker is trying to do good things, but he's kind of, instead of overcoming his negative parts of his personality, he's hiding them behind what he has to do.
The shield.
Yep.
I can't say I totally agree. I think that the Vulture has a lot more in common with Carly Morgenthau, who's willing to kill somebody if it's getting in the way of her helping the people she considers her family, which is what the Vulture said to Peter in the car in Homecoming, is like, I'm taking care of my family, and if you get in my way, I'll kill you and everyone you love.
I think the difference between Carly and John Walker is privilege.
You know, I really don't see that John Walker thinks he's helping people. I see him signing toys. Mm-hmm. I see him taking selfies. What does he think he's doing that helps people? You know,
the symbol
saying, do you know who I am? Does he really think he's helping people? Is that what he thinks? I can't say I've gotten that impression.
I'm not saying I think I'm not trying to make an argument that he's good at it. That's the thing. Like, I think what you're saying is in order for him to think that he's doing good, he must be successful at doing good. I'm saying he thinks he's doing good, he's just not successful at it. That's the difference.
Yes. And he doesn't understand why he's not being successful at it.
Right.
And that is feeding his
ego. Yeah. It's his ego. He believes his own press. That's arguably my biggest problem.
And that he believes his own press, but then he sees himself failing and he doesn't understand why, so he blames it on someone else.
Yeah, that's true. He's lashing out at people because he's like, why?
He absolutely is.
Absolutely.
Like, he's blaming it on Carly that he's not doing what he needs to be doing, or he's blaming it on Sam and Bucky, and they're like, bro, if you like checked your ego for half a second,
right,
and
then we'd work with you, but you didn't, so we don't want anything to do with you because you're just gonna fuck it up.
Yep.
And he's like, look, I've been doing good things, I'm a good person, and they're like, yeah, we don't care.
It's like, I'm carrying out mission parameters. What more do you people want?
Exactly.
I like the idea of Sam kind of interacting with all these different people and like being able to form his ideology. If he does accept the shield,
right,
he's going to be able to form his ideology based on what he's seen.
Right.
You know, because he is a soldier, he is an American, he is a black man, he has seen the struggling people that Carly Morgenthau and the Flag Smashers are doing good things for. They are legitimately helping.
Yep.
And he's also seen people like John. He's seen people like Bucky. I think he's going to be able to come up with a really good way of helping everyone while serving his country if he chooses to take the shield.
Right.
Yes.
You know, that's what I'm excited to see.
And let's just talk real quick about that elephant in the room. He's a black man.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Taking the place of a white blonde man who has been the symbol of America for how long now?
Right.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Like, that's a big deal.
Right.
Especially with, you were gone for 5 years, I can't give you a loan. He's like, I was dead.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean I didn't have any income? Of course I didn't have any income.
Obviously I didn't have any income. Like,
and it's like, if a freaking Avenger can't, overcome...
Can't get a loan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Then you've got an issue. Like...
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think one of the parts of this episode I actually did love the most, and I'm not, like, condoning any threats at all.
Right.
But I love that the writers worked in a scenario where Carly would have a conversation with Sam's sister.
Mm-hmm. I think that's
really cool. I thought that was really cool, and I liked it the more I watched it. Yeah. Like, I love that they got to interact in some way, Carly did, with somebody who has really seen the bad parts of America and is also trying to keep her family safe, but is not going to the lengths that Carly is, and presumably would not go to the lengths that Carly is.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think it's good that Carly gets to see that perspective, even if it's just brief. I never anticipated that, and I really love it.
What do I care about their mascot?
Right.
Yeah. It doesn't represent me.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's an added part. I was talking, I don't want to take credit for an idea that's not mine, but I was talking to another one of my friends who brought up just the nuance. Yes, there's the idea of a black man replacing a white man as America's symbol, but would a black man want to?
Right.
And that's...
Right.
I think that's thus far... I think... I don't want to, like, take credit for someone's idea, but I don't want to out somebody either who might not have wanted to say something publicly, so I'm like, I don't... But, the person I was talking to about this was like, that, And I've been thinking about that a lot. Just this idea of we all want Sam to do it, but like maybe that's been one of Sam's unspoken reasons for not wanting to be the symbol of America.
Yeah. And I wouldn't blame him at all if that was his decision.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that. I have to think that he's going to eventually make that choice just because, it's Marvel. But, like, it'll be interesting to see that play out.
Yeah, no, I think that's... And I think it's probably something to that effect because he keeps not wanting to tell Bucky why he didn't take it. And I think there has to be something that he thinks Bucky is not going to understand. In his reasoning. That said, though, one of my other, like, when the therapy scene in the second episode...
so good.
So many good things.
So good.
The biggest part to me was the reason why Bucky was so intense about this is if Steve was wrong about you, he might be wrong about me. Like, that sentence.
Yeah. That was a big deal.
Yeah, it was.
That was a big deal.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I think I think that I understand where Bucky's coming from, but I would assume that Sam, I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but I would like to think that Bucky would understand where Sam's coming from. I'm sad to think that there would be something Sam would feel like he couldn't tell him about why he wouldn't want to take the shield.
But
clearly he's not.
Let's think about it. How long have they known each other? Not very long.
Yeah, that's true. And they're more like Cap's friends.
And, like, the first time they met, Bucky was trying to kill Sam. So, even though it wasn't Bucky, like, it still has a thing. It's still there.
Andrew in the chat pointing out something that I absolutely did love. Did anybody catch the Zemo White Witch Narnia connection? Yeah. Heck yeah, I loved that. They brought Turkish Delight and all the Chronicles of Narnia kids started screaming. Turkish Delight, guys.
See, I caught that. I just never knew that was solely a Narnia thing. I just figured...
I've never come across it in any other context because it tastes so bad that most Americans won't eat it.
See, I've never tried it, so I just didn't know it tasted bad.
It's real bad. It's kind of like soap.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Like the perfumey stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, I tried it as well, and it's like really sticky and gummy, and then covered in powdered sugar.
But it doesn't taste good.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's rose flavor, which obviously makes it very soap-like.
Yeah.
Rose flavored?
How is something rose flavored?
What?
Oh, Django. Django in the chat saying he actually thinks Turkish Delight is awesome. I think you're just saying that to be contrary. You really like Turkish Delight?
I have had some where it has a bunch of nuts in it, which helps, I think. So it's not just like straight up.
I've never had that.
I just find it difficult to eat because it's so sticky. It like sticks to all your teeth and everything.
Interesting.
So that makes it tough.
Yeah, it's. I can't imagine that those kids would have been willing to help Zemo once they actually ate it. I can only assume they ate it later. Because if a stranger approaches you and gives you candy and you take it, then you're already a dumb little kid. Because what does everyone say? Don't trust like strangers with candy. Right. That's like the
that's like
you're not
rule number
supposed
one.
to. I was a lot for that entire sequence. How were Sam and Bucky so bad at the like information gathering compared to Bear and Zemo? They completely showed up. It really made me laugh.
That's funny. Down. Sorry.
Okay, some defenders of Turkish Delight in the chat. All right, I guess I've never had the authentic stuff.
See, and I've never tried it, so I didn't know if it would or wouldn't be bad. I just assumed it was a thing in Narnia because people liked it already. So, like, I recognized it from Narnia, but I didn't think of it as a Narnia thing because I just assumed it was a thing people like in Turkey. So, like...
Throughout Europe, it seems. In different parts of Europe.
But I love that whole thing, too. And he's singing, like, Ba Ba Black Sheep. Like, what the frick are you doing, Zemo?
That was so weird and scary.
I friggin' love Zemo. I love everything about him.
Did he think that was... It's so weird that he seemed to think that would, like, convince the kids that he was, like, trustworthy.
Yeah.
That's, like, the opposite of the impression it actually gave off, but it worked. I guess all I can say.
Yeah, it was freaking creepy.
Yeah.
Like, I also really hate that he's pulling that coat off. That bothers me. He shouldn't be able to, but he is. I kind of wish Bucky had punched him. That would have been cool.
Yes.
He threw the bottle against the wall and was like, "Oh, do you want to see leverage?" I'm like, "Yeah, Bucky, get him."
Go. No, I loved that fight scene with the Dora Milaje. And
oh my god.
Sam's like, "We should do something," and Bucky just goes, "Doing great." Just
looking strong, John.
Looking good.
I was a little surprised when Zemo disappeared into the sewers that nobody followed him. I guess it was just for reasons of the plot. I would think he couldn't have gotten that far.
I love the reference, like, I can't believe he El Chapo'd himself. I'm like, that's... Does anybody even...
Yeah, I didn't even catch that the first time I saw it.
I was just laughing so hard because they were all, like, everybody was fighting, and I'm like, nobody is paying any attention to Zemo.
The person they're actually fighting over.
Yeah, it's like, stay out of it and keep your eye on Zemo while these guys fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for the reasons of the plot, he had to get away.
Yep.
I can only assume. I never considered that the Wakandans would have built a fail-safe into Bucky's arm. That just blew my mind. I was really shaken. I was shook by that. Like, of course they did.
Right.
It's Wakanda. Of course they built fail-safes that only they know into his arm to make it just stop working and fall off.
I mean, I just assume they have that about, like, all of their technology in general.
I didn't assume that until it was too late. I was shocked.
Well, I didn't think about it, like, before then, but when that happened, I didn't necessarily think... But, I mean, it also kind of makes sense, because if you're, like, giving him a replacement arm, but you, like, don't know if his de-brainwashing worked...
Yeah.
You know, you might want to put a failsafe so you can, like, get rid of the arm. Andrew says that when he first came to Europe during the Gulf War, he was given Canadian flags by his Canadian friends to put on his backpack due to deep American distrust. Very
thank you for sharing that, Andrew. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it, though. But yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I can see it, too.
Because, let's be honest, sometimes Americans are assholes.
Yeah.
I mean...
That does happen.
We have no defense. Yeah. It is true. It's, it'll be interesting to see how they move forward with those two episodes, now that as bad as things are with the people's opinions of America in the real world, now in this world, Cap has beaten a dude to death. Right. So, interesting times.
Well, and you're gonna have the people, too, like, if you think about the people who just know Captain America, you know, there's gonna be a certain contingent of people in the world who aren't even gonna realize he's different than Steve Rogers.
Well, they won't think it matters. Absolutely.
Right. Like, because even though their identity wasn't secret, he's Captain America. And he looks similar enough that in a lot of these places that don't have, you know, the deep, constant news cycles or whatever, it's gonna be like, oh no, it's just the same Captain America.
Yeah.
It's just that one guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he just was could not have done a worse job. Like, when he first showed up and was just, like, yelling in the public square with his shield all big and noticeable on his back, I turned into my mom. I was like, John, lower your voice. You're making a scene, which is, like, something she said to my dad before, because his name is John. That's really what I did.
That's funny.
He just couldn't have goofed any more than he did.
Yeah. He's struggling.
That will be... He had his only intelligent line so far, though, because, like, truly, what is up with all of the knives?
Yeah.
What is up with all of the knives? First smart thing he said.
I think that's funny. Well, he's got to not be used to it, because he's got to be, like, used to, like, actual battlefield fighting.
Yeah, well. Yeah, that's true. And guns, as a veteran, he'd be more used to guns, but
Yeah.
That was also an incredibly well choreographed fight. I really love that.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Sam used his jetpack to burn somebody. That was great.
I just wonder now, the next stage of the story, is it that they have to kind of go up against him still, or does the world seeing all that mean that he's going to get pulled aside? Like, where does the story go from here?
Yeah.
I can't imagine that the government would allow him to publicly be Captain America anymore. I know that covering things up is an American tradition, but I would think that but given that the video is out there and the title of the episode is "The Whole World is Watching,"
right?
Given that the multiple people in the audience, almost everybody had their camera out,
right?
Like literally almost everybody. They have to do
a
something
superhero
publicly.
showed up. I'm gonna take my phone out so I can get a video. Be like, guys, look!
Yep.
Relatable, right? Absolutely relatable.
Mm-hmm.
But I just have to think the government does something publicly. Whatever their feelings might be, they have to do some public restitution. And I can only assume that's going to be the final thing that absolutely pushes John Walker completely over the edge, is making him like hand in your shield and your gun, so to speak.
Right.
And he's gonna lose his mind.
Because he'll have failed,
and
he's not used to that.
Failing.
Yeah.
Yep. And he thinks of himself as Captain America now.
In the army anymore. Like
No.
he's gonna have lost everything.
Yep.
They won't give him his
Dishonorable
old
discharge.
job back.
Uh-huh. Lamar's dead.
Lamar is dead.
Andrew says.
Unless for some.
Andrew's pointing out how that secret identities are not really much of a thing in the MCU, which is true.
That's a good point.
I think that is due to the lovely Tony Stark.
Yeah.
I think it's nice. I think it simplifies things.
Yeah.
In some ways, from a storytelling perspective. Yeah.
Well, because inevitably, like, as much as... I mean, like, I think of the original Spider-Man 2 as one of the, like, quintessential superhero movies. Like, I don't know that it necessarily holds up or that I would rank it higher than a lot of the MCU films, but, like, that was really one of the films that said superhero movies can be good. You know what I mean? In a way that they just
that's absolutely true.
But as much as I love that movie, there became this trap with a lot of superhero movies before we got to the MCU of the second movie is them wrestling with their secret identity. And it just became a story we'd seen so much, and I just didn't need 20 Marvel superheroes all dealing with, I can't tell my girlfriend who I really am.
Oh, that would have been horrible. Like, you're right, that would have been real bad.
Like, I think it's better that we largely... Like, it's pretty much just Spider-Man in this universe, and then that got fixed in Far From Home. So, like...
Yeah, exactly.
Fixed.
I kind of think there was I haven't seen Homecoming in a while, or Far From Home in a while, but I have to assume that there was, like, the connection is that he's so young, like, he's still in school.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that was part of it. He was trying to live a normal teenage life, more or less.
Yeah, I think that's true, and I think a lot of it is just the way in which people got their powers.
Yeah.
Because Andrew points out too that T'Challa arguably is secret too, but
for a while. But like his whole country knows.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true.
And so even in Winter Soldier, when he first starts going after
Civil War.
Yes. No, Winter Soldier. Yes.
Sorry.
Civil War. Sorry. When he first starts going after Bucky, he just takes his mask right off.
Yeah.
Like,
He's like,
what's up, police?
I'd like some diplomatic immunity, please.
Yeah. I'll take one of those diplomatic immunities, please.
I've heard so much about. Yep.
I've heard that in this country you do not arrest kings.
That's what I've been told.
Is that true? But yeah, so I think part of it too is like, you know, arguably Clint and Natasha, they're not so much secret identities as much as they're secret agents. Like,
yeah.
Yep, that's true. That's true. That's the whole idea with the SHIELD organization.
So I think there's something to that too. Because like, I'm surprised how many people don't actually recognize Bucky. Because they're making a big deal like everybody knows who Falcon is.
Yeah.
That I hadn't considered that, but that's a really good point because they had he was on the news and was a wanted man.
Yeah.
After Civil War, and then he got his pardon.
But like, haircut, well, you're right,
Kathleen with the real talk.
Chimed in.
The orange is different. They're like, no, that's a different arm, different haircut. Can't be him.
Can't be. I just have bad circulation.
My sister's always complaining that she thinks Sebastian Stan is like some ways a good actor because she thinks he's really bland. He can disappear into anything, which I don't think is fair. But maybe that's just a comment on his ability. He's like a chameleon.
Yeah, I don't know.
I did love that after the opening flashback, the nice overhead shot of Io and Bucky, and then the cobblestones were like split into black and white.
Yeah. And
they were each standing on one side. That was nice. Just very,
I did
very
not
nice
notice that.
There. It's very nice. It's a nice shot. It's very pretty. I can't remember who's standing on what side of the cobblestones, but it is nice.
As an aside, Mackenzie, if you pick any, I forgot about this quest. If you look in your journal,
gold ones.
The gold ones, yeah. Need to go to Piers.
Yes. I have a couple.
Okay.
You want to get these cherries up here?
I can get them for you, yeah.
My backpack's full. I'm gonna go to Piers and drop these out.
Yeah, I didn't get the people who thought he looked like Luke Skywalker either until I saw like a side by side and I was like, ooh, this is.
It's he really can. It depends on how he's styled himself, I guess. But yeah, it's true. The facial features are very similar. I had actually forgotten that, Andrew, thank you for pointing that out. Then the Chapman's protection was originally from Fury, like they say in Age of Ultron. Yeah, that's true. I mean, all the stuff with Fury that was before S.H.I.E.L.D. was decimated.
Yeah.
And he had to fake his own death and all that stuff. Yeah, that's absolutely true. I'd forgotten that.
But yeah, they just have been focusing less on the secret identities.
Right.
Which I think is for the best. But I mean, like, I mean, there's certain things like, if you go to like Captain America, you'd be like, he's really Steve Rogers. Like, what's that gonna change? You know what I mean?
That's true. What would that change? Yeah.
Like,
who would care? Who would care about that?
Or you go to, I still love in Infinity War, where he's like, Stephen Strange or Doctor Strange. Oh, we're using our made up names.
Yes. I laughed so hard.
That part will never stop being funny.
What a combination. I'm really glad that I hope the leaks the rumors I should say, that I heard a long time ago that Spider-Man was also going to, that Doctor Strange was going to either be in some future Spider-Man movie. I think that's the rumor that I heard, was that he was going to have a part in Spider-Man No Way Home. Which I think is great.
With him just showing up in random things for no reason, just showing up.
Yeah, why not?
Being like, hey,
why not?
I'm here.
Yeah. I needed my mom to see Thor Ragnarok because I needed to like be there while she watched it because it's one of my absolute faves. And since Thor is her dude.
Absolutely.
So we skipped Doctor Strange to get to Thor Ragnarok. And then I was like, he's here. Let me explain this real quick.
Oh.
He's cool.
Yeah.
He's a good guy and he can do weird magic shit. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was all you needed to know.
He's he's a sorcerer, which is just a wizard without a hat.
He is a wizard without a hat.
Exactly.
Oh, I would love a callback to that in some way.
So, just as a housekeeping note, Mackenzie, the next day on the calendar is the start of the Winter Festival.
Yes.
Should we?
I just saw that.
Should we wait for Lindsay?
Yeah, probably.
You should totally wait for Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay!
Hey!
Are you joining the call through your new Cabal 5G microchip?
I totally am. I'm sitting here at Ford Field waiting my 15 minutes before I can go home.
Heck yeah!
Yay.
So if you have some sort
How do
of
you feel?
drastic reaction, you'll have it on stream.
Well, that's fantastic.
Great. I'm not saying I hope you do, but like, I mean,
But it would
it'd
be wild.
interesting.
It would be wild.
It totally would be.
Well, hello, welcome. Oh man. All right, Andrew says he says that somebody pointed out that Sharon is using the same phone that Fury uses in Winter Soldier.
Ooh.
So her working
Hello.
for Fury could be a thing. I think that's the most likely thing.
Yeah, I did not notice that. Thank you for pointing that out, and that is a great theory.
I like that theory a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's well spotted.
And then Ray says No Way Home will be part of the Multiverse of Madness arc, which I did not know, but I'm very
Yeah.
excited about if that is true.
I think I had heard that actually. Yeah. That I'm excited. I have confidence that's going to be a good movie. I think that's going to work out really
I'm
well.
so excited for all these things. Mackenzie, if you're looking for Harvey, he's up in his room.
Yes. Yes, he is.
And I just got a cutscene. Crap. Okay. Cutscene.
Me too.
time.
Me too. Because I was going to give him his coffee for
Yeah.
his birthday.
I didn't realize that a lot of his cutscenes were in his house, because I never went to his house, and so, like, it was a later playthrough where I was like, oh, this is where all my Harvey cutscenes are.
Yes. Yes. I feel that. Where am I going? What am I trying to do? Okay. I lost my train of thought for a moment.
That's fine.
I think it's
Oh.
interesting how this is playing out just because I have heard that with the pandemic, a lot of the stuff with the Flag Smashers did actually had to get rewritten and or cut out completely. So when they talked about the vaccines in the truck in episode 2,
Oh.
they had to cut a bunch of pandemic related stuff out because they correctly assumed nobody wants to see that shit right now.
That's interesting. I wondered, but I didn't know. That's really interesting. So
That's what I've heard.
One of my few gripes with the show is it took me for freaking ever to figure out what the Flag Smashers actually wanted. And like you can figure it out, but I was like,
I still don't think I know.
yeah, I'm like, I think I felt so them having to cut a lot of that out. I'm like, okay. And I can give them a pass if it's just they're trying not to.
That's a rumor I've heard from several places is that there's a bunch of stuff they hadn't filmed or had to change really quickly with the Flag Smashers. So, like, I even heard that Carly killing those people was a later addition, like just to keep her character kind of like ruthless.
Interesting.
But then I can't substantiate any of that. But it makes sense. I know that their filming schedule was so boned by the pandemic, like more so even than WandaVision. They had so much stuff to shoot. It was like,
and that might be why they had to delay it. Andrew says you can see Carly's dialogue is being overdubbed. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
Ooh, yeah, and we heard that Danya was a victim of a plague in the
instead
camp.
of tuberculosis. She has tuberculosis. It's common in camps.
That's true. That's true.
Lindsay, if you're still there, Ray says she's getting dose 1 of Pfizer on Friday, and to tell you congrats.
Yep, I got Pfizer today.
Hey!
Yay!
I got Pfizer.
too.
I got Pfizer.
I get Pfizer on Wednesday.
Heck yeah! Look at us being a Pfizer crowd. It's just Kristen who's got Moderna.
Yeah, but all the rest of us are on the Pfizer plan.
And I have absolutely heard that Moderna is more of a kick in the pants. Like, my sister is texting me while we're having this. Mm-hmm. She got her Moderna yesterday, and she says today her arm hurts like a I'm not going to say it in the chat, but it hurts a lot.
Yeah.
Like it hurts like crazy today. Like mine didn't hurt at all, and hers is like sore as F today.
Mine hurt, but it wasn't bad enough that I needed to take anything for it.
Yeah.
But I took somebody's advice the day of. I moved my arm a lot. A coworker told me that if you move it, after you get the shot, before it starts hurting, if you do a lot of arm activity, it's not as bad the next day because you've already kind of moved it through your arm. Django's on Team Moderna. Kelly Ripa, because I have to watch her for work, likes to call it the Madonna vaccine. So
What?
No,
Why?
if you're gonna call it anything, call it the Dolly Parton vaccine.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, no kidding.
But
It
I
is
think,
the Dolly Parton
I think
vaccine.
she just misspoke and called it the Madonna instead of the Moderna, and then that's been the joke on her show.
I will not be here for this Dolly Parton erasure.
Yeah, right?
You know what? None of us should be okay with the Dolly Parton erasure. We should all speak up with one voice. Yeah, totally.
I also got Pfizer, and I also tried to move my arm around, and it hurt the day of, but then I didn't have any pain the next day.
I'm gonna go home and like swing my arms around all evening.
Yeah, literally, that's what I did.
Yeah,
Like, I
stretch
felt
your
like
arm.
an idiot, but like, even though my arm was stiff the next day, it wasn't so bad that I had to do anything about it.
Yeah, and I've had bad shots before, and I had the doctors tell me, like, don't baby it, it'll make it worse.
Yeah.
Oh, I figured that was also applicable.
Right. The one thing I'm gonna do differently when I get my second is I got it in my left arm because I'm left-handed, so I would be forced to use it more. But I also sleep on my left side, and when my arm was sore, that was the only thing, is I had a hard time sleeping because my arm was sore. So like, and I mean, it was like for a night, so it wasn't like I was sleepless for 2 weeks, and one night it was uncomfortable. But I'm gonna get it in my other arm, because if it's the second one that hits you harder, I want to be able to sleep. So that's my only.
Is there an official recommendation, or does it not matter?
It's I mean, the person who gave me my shot just asked me my preference, because some people say you should get it in your main hand because then you'll be forced to use it more. You're less likely to be able to baby it. But like in Mackenzie's case, there's a particular arm she should probably get it in more than the other one.
I'm doing better.
That's
doing
good.
Better.
I'm glad.
I can hit the buttons today.
Yes,
So,
I know. We got to actually play together.
You've made it.
Yeah. First time in a long time.
But yeah. But we can keep talking if you want after this day. I'm probably just gonna not. I think let's wait for Lindsay for the winter festival.
Yeah.
Yes.
The only other thought I had that made me laugh was like, I'm not sure what I expected, but Bucky having the tense confrontation with Io, and then walking into the room and being like, well, the Wakandans are here and they're going to kill you in 8 hours. I just didn't expect that. I just laughed when I heard it, because I thought, but then why would he keep that a secret? I just kind of assumed he wasn't going to say anything, but he did.
Yeah. Well,
I just
assumed
talked.
it too, because he didn't say anything when he went over to say hi to her the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't say, oh, I've got these Kamoyo beads, I'm going to go talk to the Wakandans. He didn't say
hold
that.
up, the Wakandans are here, I'm going to go see what they want. And, like...
It did make me laugh. And I feel like the subtitles, I couldn't make it out when the last thing Io says to him when she walks away, it literally just says...
You.
Yeah.
It just says speaks Wakandan in the subtitles.
No. It's Bast, damn you.
Yep.
I thought she was saying Das Vidanya, because she was speaking Russian to him earlier in the beginning in the flashback.
No. She basically said, God damn you, because they worship Bast.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I heard it too.
I could not figure out what that was. Thank you for telling me.
Yeah.
And
did you read that?
She said that, and I just looked at Eric and I was like, ooh.
So did you read that somewhere, or was that like just what you heard?
No, I heard it.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, I gotta go, so I gotta get back in the car. So I will talk to you all later. Okay.
I'm glad to hear that you're feeling well, Lindsay. Take care now. Move your arm
Rest
off.
up. Lots of water.
Yeah, doing it. All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. I like I said, we can keep talking. I'm just gonna go ahead and close out of this file. While we hang out, do you guys just want to see the other game I've been playing?
Yeah.
I'm good with that. I'm gonna play the other game I've been playing.
Boom.
'Cause
Look at
why
us
the hell not?
playing the other things we've been playing. Okay.
Jess, are you still playing the leaf blower game?
I could stream that too. If you guys want to see the leaf blower game, I'm for it. That's not my... Nope, that's the wrong thing. There we go. No, I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn off stream, and it's really good. Andrew wants some Prey. I know, but I'm too tired to be entertaining during Prey. I'm gonna do a Prey stream on Tuesday. I meant to stream it this weekend. I've just been going through some stuff, and so I just haven't been streaming. But I should be better next week. But I'll show you guys this. This is what I've been up to.
I'll be curious how you feel about Horizon, because I think I told you this a while back, but like in November, I bought my first ever PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
That I got with it, and I played.
Whoa. Hold on.
Through it and beat it. I rage quit a lot.
We are not going to be streaming Horizon Zero Dawn.
In terms of combat, for some reason,
Hold on a sec, Eric.
I don't know.
I opened up the game, and like my CPU freaked out so hard.
Ooh. It is very, because it's so gorgeous, I have a feeling it's pretty graphically demanding.
Yeah, I think
I haven't played it on a computer, so I don't know what that means.
I haven't turned like all the frickin' way up, and I probably would have to turn it down a bit to be able to stream it. So now I've closed it. So I'd love to stream it someday. Something tells me I'm gonna have to get another CPU before I can do that, which is fine. I'm gonna have to do that eventually anyway. But yeah, the game was like, nope. Nope, really. I'll show you guys Leaf Blower Revolution. This is a free game on Steam, and you should all get it. It's amazing.
Much better than Horizon.
It's much better than Horizon Zero Dawn. It's this guy with this leaf blower, and you blow the leaves. And these little doohickeys are my Roombas that also help me blow the leaves.
Leaf blowing Roombas.
Yes. It's pretty amazing. And then how do you transport between worlds? There's also like different worlds where I fight animals. It's very strange. This is free on Steam. It's called Leaf Blower Revolution. And it's the best game I've ever played in my life. This is what I do.
Ringing endorsement.
Whenever I'm like on a call with people, as we do in this day and time, and I just have to do something, or I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I just play this game, and it's pretty amazing. So, like, now I have the advanced leaf blower. I can afford this, which is going to be the nuclear leaf blower. So now I have a nuclear leaf blower. And look at how many leaves I can blow with my nuclear leaf blower.
Look at how many leaves I can blow.
I have so many. It's so great.
So many.
Statement right there.
I'm just gonna buy all these things.
No one person should have that kind of power.
No.
Look at that.
But I do, and that's the important thing.
Dang it.
I'm trying to buy stuff. Why would I let me buy? There we go. Look at this. I bought more trees, and now there's even more leaves. This is being streamed in 60 frames per second, as it should be.
Man.
High res.
High res. What is Django sending me now? Oh, Django is also leaf blowing because he's doing yard work. So Django and I... Django, you need a nuclear powered leaf blower. I'm just saying it would be much easier for you if you had one of these.
It is great because in a completely non-ironic way, I feel like I may have told you this, they announced a lawnmower simulator.
Ooh.
As a game, which of course, like, which just begs the question, how many random tasks slash like chores can we turn into simulation video games?
Right. Obviously. But to answer the question about Horizon Zero Dawn, I really like it so far. Like, the lore is really interesting. It's my first time really committing to an open world game. And so I'm just really struggling with the getting used to that. Like, I'm used to, you go to a level, you clear out the level, and you can explore. Where in Horizon, it's like, you fight a pod of enemies, you walk 2 feet, and oh look, more spawned! And I'm like, no, I wanted to... like that's been my frustration. And then, there's like, it seems like each creature has a very specific way you're supposed to fight it, which is fine, but I'm like, I want to experiment with different ways. And the game's like, you can.
Yeah.
It's just only one of them's going to work. I'm like, okay, we'll find whatever. But the story is really good.
Yeah, that was what I loved the most about the game. The story was really interesting.
I'm heading to Meridian. I'm almost to Meridian, for what that means to anybody.
Yeah, that's like a good chunk of the first half of the game is just trying to get to Meridian, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I had to take a lot of breaks with that game because no matter how far into it I got and seemingly understanding of the concepts and all that, I just sucked at combat.
Yeah.
Like, always sucked at it. There was very little, like, because I wanted to play very stealth-like.
Right.
And there are times where obviously you can't do that.
Yep.
And basically, anytime I couldn't successfully, like, stealth kill a bunch of enemies, I would just get my ass kicked.
Yep.
Constantly.
Well, that would be my thing, is I'll, like, try to set up stuff, and then you get found, and it's so hard to go back into stealth. I'm like, well...
Yeah. It's like, basically, once you're had, you're just, that's it, until everyone's dead.
Yep. But I'm doing better with it than I thought I would do. But I don't know that I'm doing great either. I don't know. I just fought some sort of giant T-Rex thing on my way to Meridian, and I did pretty well. So I was a little late starting the stream as I was playing it, and I lost track of time. Because I thought I would die immediately, and I'm like, oh, I'm actually doing kind of okay.
Thunder Jaws or whatever.
Yeah, that thing. But I'm also, like, twice the recommended level for getting to Meridian.
Oh, so you're the person who's, like, done all the side quests and your character just super buffed out.
Yeah, pretty much. But I still almost died. I'm like, I'm doing stuff that I'm twice the level for and still almost dying. And I don't know if that means the game's hard or I'm bad at the game.
That sounds about right from my experience, to be honest.
But I'm a little bit, like, frustrated because I just remembered that it is a PlayStation exclusive and the sequel will probably not get ported to PC for, like, another 3 years after it gets made.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I just started this series and I'm not going to get to continue it on my own.
Yeah, it'll probably be a minute.
But that's okay.
Yeah. I just remember playing it and Mackenzie watching me, and 90% of her comments were just about how much she loved Aloy's hair.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Well, like,
I want her hair
to
so
tie it
bad.
back to Falcon and Winter Soldier briefly, Erin Kellyman, who plays Carly, would be perfect.
She's so good.
She would be perfect for Aloy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
actually,
absolutely.
Perfect for
be
Aloy.
good. That would be good if they ever did a live action thing.
Mm-hmm. It took me a second to get used to Aloy because the voice actress is the same one who does Chloe from Life is Strange, and I'm like, you're not swearing enough. This is making me uncomfortable.
I did not realize that was the same voice actress.
Yup. So
I
anyway.
assume you're going to play the newest addition to the Life is Strange universe.
Oh, I'm so excited for it. True Colors. So excited. We have to start streaming Before the Storm in Life is Strange 2. I will probably play True Colors for myself before I stream it, but I will stream it shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that.
It looks very interesting. I've only honestly played the first chapter of regular Life is Strange because I've been too cheap to actually purchase the whole thing.
Right.
But it does look. I eventually will need to play it all because I did like it.
And if you like the first episode, it only gets more wild from there.
Oh right, I do not doubt that.
It's one of my favorite game series. But no, I'm super excited. I like that they with the different games they have different main characters. It makes a lot of people mad because like the sequel didn't have Chloe and Max in it. It had like different characters. But I don't know. I think it's good. Chingo's got it run. Yeah, we're off both Stardew Valley and off of Winter Soldier at this point. But I mean, I could just play Leaf Blower Revolution forever.
That's all you really need.
It's again, guys. This game is free. This is a free game on Steam, waiting for you.
Nice. It kind of seems to me, though, speaking of Erin Kellyman, like, can you see her doing what Steve used to call the sacrifice play? Because I kind of wonder if that's how they would take her character. Like, maybe she'll end up sacrificing herself for the greater good in some way. Maybe even to help Sam.
Absolutely, she's gonna. I'm here for that. I am here for that.
Yeah. I honestly thought that might be John Walker. That he would sacrifice himself for the greater good, and then that's how Falcon would pick up the shield. But I don't know, the way things are going, I don't see
him
that happening anymore.
I don't see John Walker
it would be quite a twist,
necessarily. I mean, maybe he would just to redeem himself for becoming kind of a horrible person. But I don't know.
See, that's why I could see Carly doing it because she'll go far away from her ideals.
Right. I think after 4 episodes, that's more who she is, but it does remain to be seen.
Yeah. I could see that more. It's just like I am no longer the person that was my mentor, like the person she would want me to be. So now I have to, like, I'm gonna do this for my people. Because she killed Lamar, right? I don't think she intended to, but she did.
Yeah, that was her. It was hard to see. I had to watch it multiple times, but that was her who kicked him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why John Walker was like, where is she? When he went after that one guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't get the vibe that she intended to do it at all. It was just one of those she didn't know her own strength situations.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely how I feel about it.
What do you guys think of Zemo's play from here? Because obviously he wants to...
He's going to go after John.
Oh, for sure.
He's going to go after John. He's going to leave Carly to Sam and Bucky. And he's going to go after John.
Recognizing which one of them is the bigger threat.
I think a big part of his character arc is also going to be trying to stay away from the Dora.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. I have to assume they're going to find him and whoop his ass sooner or later.
Yeah, I think
I can't imagine
the only way he gets away from them is either because they want to continue that story somewhere else, or because they work out some kind of deal or something. But I don't see that either. Like I don't think he's got a whole lot to look forward to with them after him.
I can just see him begging Bucky to take him back to the German prison.
Right.
Like, it's so much better than the Dora. Please lock me up. Oh my god.
I honestly feel like this last episode kind of reminded me that Zemo is in fact a villain because he's kind of gotten a little chummy since joining these guys. And then when he confronts, I already forgot her name. We've been talking about her the whole time. Carly. He just straight up, like, shoots her.
Yeah.
like no hesitation. Like, there's no moment where he's gonna, like, discuss anything with her. He just tries to bust a cap instantly.
Yep.
Like, just without any remorse or any hesitation. And it's like, oh, yeah, this guy will literally just straight up kill you if given the chance. Because cold-blooded killer.
Well, I will say, I thought it was interesting that he looked at the vial and then stomped it. Did anyone think for a second maybe he was going to do what John did and take one?
I was, for a brief second,
He didn't, though.
I was like, is he going to be like, I have to stop super soldiers by becoming one? And then he was like, nope, because he's a true believer. Like, that's,
he is.
Yeah,
He's
he
a true
is.
believer.
That's the thing with Zemo, is he's definitely a bad guy, but he's not trying to take over the world.
Yep.
You know, he's not trying to necessarily gain power for himself. He just has a real beef with superheroes.
Yeah.
And so I liked that moment for him.
Yeah, I liked it too. Can't believe he let one get away, though. What a loser.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do is look at these people who are like super powered and awesome in a fictional world and criticize them from my couch. Like, oh, how could you let one go? I would never even have gotten that far.
Amazing.
Be like, Zemo, you idiot, you didn't get all.
Hey, have a good time, Ray. That sounds fun. Carly,
Oh my God.
Prince. It is the great story of the power struggle.
Shush.
I apologize for my dog, y'all.
Someone's choking on something else.
Oh, that's okay.
She's got opinions.
She's having a little spaz out here.
Because a man and his child are going for a walk. She's
Oh
getting
no!
Oh, you can't have that. What if they come into your lawn?
Right.
bit. Yeah. They are an absolute threat to this establishment.
Clearly.
You have to just let them know that a dog is here,
Mhm.
and then everything will be better.
Right.
It must. I think I said this last time. It must reinforce her behavior when people keep walking. It's like, yeah, you better keep walking. I barked at you.
Right.
Yep.
So it in some ways, she's going to learn that's the right thing to do because like it keeps working.
Clearly.
Yeah.
That reminds me of one of my favorite 30 Rock jokes where Liz is talking about how Tracy used to set. She's reminiscing that he used to set literal fires around the set to keep away Dracula, which, as far as we know, worked. She's like, all I do is spend my time putting out fires, including the literal ones Tracy sets to keep away Dracula, which, as far as we know, has worked.
I just got an achievement in Leaf Blower Revolution
Ooh.
for collecting platinum leaves, so it's pretty cool. I'm just saying.
What comes after platinum, though?
I don't know yet. That's the mystery.
I'm excited to find out.
I know, me too. Andrew wonders if your dogs don't like my leaf blower.
Ooh, that could be it.
They probably wouldn't, but they can't hear it, so it's okay.
Ah, okay.
So one of them is sleeping. The other one has stopped growling and now wants to sit on my lap, which I'm currently sitting on the floor with my feet under the coffee table, so there's really not room on my lap.
Ooh.
I also just lost, so I have to start over.
No.
Ooh.
I forgot this is where you can fight animals with your leaf blower. It's pretty wild. There's combat in this too, guys. It's pretty crazy. Well, if we're kind of winding down, we're hitting the 2-hour mark. People are kind of heading out. So, are there any final thoughts?
The dearth between this show and Loki is gonna be brutal. I'm trying not to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First world problems, but it's yeah. I'm confident it'll be worth it at the end, but
In the end. When we get
yeah.
there. I'm excited for Black Widow.
Yes, me too. Finally.
I'm excited.
I am excited to eventually be able to go see movies in theaters.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm excited to be fully doped up so I can go.
Oh my
That was
god.
pretty much
Andrew
the
is
deadline I
right.
set
There
for myself,
is
yeah.
Bad Batch in between. I'm so excited for Bad Batch.
Yeah, that little detail. Bad Batch is coming out.
Oh, Bad Batch.
Seems like they put that together really quickly. Like I thought it would be a longer wait.
They just tend to not announce animated shows too far in advance. They did the same thing with Resistance. They told us about Resistance a couple of months before it premiered, and I was like, oh, what is this show?
Oh, well, there you go then. Cool.
Yeah.
Good. It is pretty crazy. We only have 2 episodes left, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think that it's gonna nowhere to go but up from here. That's how I
Right.
feel. I'm confident this is gonna come to a good conclusion.
Well, it also feels like it's going to be a show with multiple seasons because I don't know that they're gonna really
Yeah.
resolve
I think-
all of this.
I'm kind of I honestly like the idea of a title card like at the end of the last season of The Mandalorian. No spoilers. That was like
Yeah.
letting you know what the next show coming up is going to be
Mhm.
and what the title's going to be, and they've just kept it a secret until now.
Right.
It'll be like Cap and the Bucky coming to you in 2022. He's Cap too, but like in a
Ooh.
different way. Coming
now
to you.
I have an airplane turbine
Ooh.
Oh.
for a leaf blower.
Start referring to him as the Bucky from
The
now
Bucky.
on.
Oh my god.
Bucky.
I think from now on, all superheroes are just the.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I made a big stink about it when Hayward called Vision the Vision.
Vision.
Like, no, just
That was weird.
stop.
That was weird. Yeah, that was extremely weird.
That was just annoying.
Like, obviously, you
Well,
don't
and
know him
also
well
it
enough
felt
to call him Viz, but
Right.
Well, and also it made it feel like he was depersonalizing him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He saw
well.
him as a weapon, so it's like the Vision is the weapon, and so Vision is more of like an actual
A
name.
person,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
human being,
Mm,
or at least a sentient being.
Right.
yeah.
I don't know about human, but sentient.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Human-esque.
Yes.
Anthropomorphic.
Oh, there you go.
Anthropomorphized IT.
Yeah.
AI.
All right. But yeah, that's we should be back to normal now.
Yes.
We will
Yeah.
we will see, but like
As normal as we get.
normal as,
Yeah.
Yeah. As normal as this group can get.
Yeah. So that'll be good. But thank you guys for being here. Like I said, I should be playing Prey again on Tuesday.
Woo!
But I will talk to you guys then. Have a good one. Bye.